who care about the ideals of the European Union. I mean, really, like the ideals that people think that it was built for. Because if you ask, like, my parents or friends, like what's the European Union? Like, it's an ambassador of peace within Europe. So it's like it's free trade, but also it's freedom and democracy, etc., etc. And when the push came to shove, and a fellow EU country was threatened by state bankruptcy, we pummeled them into submission so heavily that until 6 weeks ago, whenever Greece had their annual budget for their own state, Germany was mandatory to sign it off. I mean, imagine that. Imagine like a foreign nation going to your financial minister, looking at his plan and saying like, yeah, we agree, go forth.
Is that ended now?
It ended 6 weeks ago. The Troika ended 6 weeks ago. And to me, that was like, for me, that was the very moment where I realized that there was something, like in my own back then idealism, that something was really amiss. So we just fucked over a country, like into total financial domination. And going on, like, why did we do that? There are a lot of reasons why did we do that. Not because we're evil, but because it's useful to us. They're like an exterior border of the European Union, so we can also pummel them into submission. And what the treatment and the processing of fugitives is, and then we can blame it on them. Like if by now it has become official that Greece border forces are throwing handcuffed refugees back into the water, so that they definitely don't try to swim back. And we can hide. Yeah, we can hide behind that. We can say, "Oh, that's horrible. What's going on the EU borders?" In fact, it is to our benefit and under our control. For example, because like by vice versa, like if Greece would have allocated a significant budget for the helping of the refugee crisis, or the other way around, Germany had always a veto. They could have said, "Hey guys, you have thousands of people dying in the Mediterranean. Maybe put some money in there." No. So I do think that Germany, as a superpower in its own, is longer coming than just this war effort that we are currently seeing. I think it was not in preparation, but it was like a steady increase in dominance.
Yeah, Germany is not a superpower yet, but it's aspiring to be one, and that explicitly again. That's the difference now. They make it explicit. It's not only part of their actions. I mean, you already saw that in Yugoslavia. You saw that in Afghanistan. They already started to come back to this, but now it's explicit. They want to get back to.
Well, look at the degree of remilitarization surrounded around the rhetoric with this Ukraine war. I mean, this is like a full militarization campaign.
Absolutely,
it is. And if you now walk in the subways or the bus stations of Germany, like advertisements for the German army are everywhere, and they are using this really crazy. The next time Nadim gives an answer, I'm gonna look up some examples and show them to you. They are really using this.
You're saying I'm taking so long to answer, or what's your?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And I've heard it before. We're working together in our own podcast, so it's.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that later.
I already got a bruise from you. That was your foot here. Don't. It all uses this like modern pseudo progressive, this liberal progressive attitude, like with females, with people of color, etc. And like so it is the same in the direction that it's going. Like it always is, like join the army and serve the system and defend your values. But the way they're presenting it is like we're in the nice army. Like with us, we might wear fatigues, we might carry guns, but in the end, we're nice. This is about you. This is about, how can I say, developing your own potential. Do it at our place. Shoot foreigners.
The intersectional army.
So do you guys think that the Ukraine war will be the final decisive step towards German remilitarization? And in Germany, just the army becomes the same attitude that there is towards it in the UK and France. It's fine for us to intervene in foreign conflicts because we're democratic nations and we know how to do this properly.
I would agree to that. Yeah.
I mean, you can see a lot of things pointing to that. I don't think that it will entirely look like everyone will be drafted and there will be a general mobilization and we will land in 5 different countries at the same time. I don't think that this is what's going to be. but it's more like in this world order of capitalist nations that kind of try to dominate each other with their imperialism, the amount of economic power that Germany has.
I think you froze. It's a very James Bond villain like gesture here for
A
him.
good gesture.
He didn't froze for a second.
Yeah, he's 0 out of 10 on connection. So he's dead. Rip. You're looking for the posters.
Yeah, I was looking into the posters. So why?
It was interesting because the ones in Britain talk less about kind of values like democrat. I don't know what values you talk about, defending values when you say that, but the British kind of woke posters are about like a feeling of belonging. It's very postmodern in the sense that like community no longer exists anywhere else, but you can still find it in the army because we still have this old-fashioned structure, while in the same time being open and woke in this other way of accepting women, of accepting people of color, of gay people, and so on.
I have one of my favorites here. Maybe I can share my screen just quickly,
If it allows you to. If not, you can post in the private chat, and Toussaint will be able to do it.
Yeah, I think.
I will.
Is it sharing?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is really nice.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, multiplayer at its best.
Wow.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Why is it in fucking English?
Yeah, I don't know. Here's another one. Someone who is probably of, how can I say, of migrant descent. We have here. Never fight for you. Just kämpfe nie für dich allein. Never fight just for yourself. So and it's probably some Turkish guy. Because
he's very ambiguous, isn't he? He could be from anyone, which presumably is the point.
Yeah,
That's
so
not
it's,
biker.
and you have them everywhere. So that is really new to me. I've not seen like for years. I've never seen. I've not seen how can I say like army advertisements, but now they're everywhere. It's like this full on effort to make army a cool thing again. I've seen police advertisements, a lot of them in the last couple of years. So I do think that the state itself is he's recruiting for repression and like aggressiveness actually. So that's the fun fact, because we're using slogans that might sound nice, but in the end, also if you look at the police, it's the same as in the US. They're highly militarized. They look like fucking mercenaries right now. Like when I was a kid and I grew up in a village in the south of Bavaria, when I saw a policeman, they had brown pants, a yellow shirt, and a green, like almost like formal jacket and a cap, maybe a gun. Not all of them had guns, and that was it. You could recognize them. And now if you see a policeman, even like in the villages in Germany where nothing ever happens, they have like ballistic vests and everything. Like you have the feeling that is that BlackRock or police? I don't know. I can't tell the difference.
Do you think this will also lead to a rehabilitation of the German flag, especially going into the World Cup?
That is a little bit different, I think, because that started in 2006 already with the when we were really successful by surprise. Nobody thought that we would be that successful in the World Cup. And yeah, there was flags everywhere, German flags, and we had a slightly neurotic ambivalence towards our own nation as a nation. So we of course used it and we served it, but like you were not supposed to say that you're a patriot or that you're like nationalist. Okay, you're not supposed to say that even now. You were not supposed to say that you're a patriot. And I remember when you had this immense, like this ocean of flags, and I hate nation state flags, like no matter which nation. I react allergic to them. And suddenly all the newspapers were full of like, oh, finally, we are someone again. We're again a country that can display their flag proudly. I'm like, is that a good thing?
Nationalism is such a base ideology when you get down to it, man.
Yes.
I mean, yes. I wonder if they'll do the move of like, no flag, and then Ukraine flag, and then you take the Ukraine flag down and you put the German flag back up.
Hi guys, sorry.
Hello.
That's
No problem.
Germany's internet for you. That's
Yep.
how it goes.
Like I had better internet connection on the mountain of a small rural Greek island than I have in Germany. I'm not kidding you.
It's a common thing though, right? Because
Yeah.
states like the UK and Germany have bad internet because they got the internet first when it was really, really bad.
It's all old.
While countries that got it more recently have been able to start with like fiber and whatever.
Yep, exactly. Right.
Yeah, I just showed some advertisements for the Deutsche Bundeswehr, like nice ones.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I mean, my last sentence was that basically Germany is trying to bring on par their economic power that they have in the world with their military power. I don't think it will immediately result in them landing in countries. It will be a threat of that. Well, if the order doesn't go as we dictate it, there is this power that we still have in the back, and that's important, and that plays a lot of role, even though it doesn't come to wars all the time, right? I mean, the war in Ukraine is not happening every day. That's something that's why it shocked everybody, because these kind of wars don't happen that much anymore.
Do you guys know the status of economic aid to Ukraine? Because obviously the Ukraine's been flooded with kind of military aid.
Oh,
but
yeah,
also
and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Defaulting on its aid, and I've heard lots of reports that Germany is kind of holding up European Union aid to Ukraine because Germany basically saying, well, Ukraine isn't going to pay us back, so why should we give them any money?
There was also a famous quote by Ursula von der Leyen, the ex Minister of Defense in Germany, now President of the EU. She said that once we help the Ukraine getting back on track, we for sure, and it's like saying the quiet part out loud. She said, this aid will for sure be connected to some demands. And I was like, did she say that out loud? Because it's basically like, we're going to help you, but we're also going to make you our bitch.
I felt like saying like, oh, the West will use this to privatize Ukraine was like a silly conspiracy theory. But then I read a report by the World Bank and they actually just said this. And it's like, okay, this is the leftists. They just say it, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, great. So there's a nice little undercurrent neoliberal agenda about privatization of Ukraine that no one's.
Everybody hatches onto this and tries to make their profits and their winnings.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's also an important thing. Like it was when the Maidan happened, it was almost from the get-go. It was 100% clear that although yes, a lot of people were displeased with the acting government, that for sure a neoliberal agent is going to be the one that ends up in power. They even had massacres of left-wing people in Odessa, as far as I remember, that were downplayed in the German media, immensely downplayed. They said, "Oh, there was a fire somewhere in a left-wing building," and then somebody told me, like, "No, there was no fire. There was just people being on fire." And he showed me pictures, and like the building was not burning, just the people inside.
Well, I mean, what happened is, people blocked all the exits and then set the building on fire.
Yeah, actually, with the pictures that I saw were even worse because sometimes it was only the heads that had been engulfed with gasoline, etc., and stuff like that, and the females also had obvious signs of sexual violence. So it was a clusterfuck, and Germany just presented in their media, yeah, there was a fire in a building. Yeah, it might be that some people died. So it was immediately clear that no matter what's going on in the Ukraine right now, as long as our agent takes charge, we're happy with it, and we're going to push them.
Oh, that's, by the way, this is also interesting. I mean, you might not witness this to the same extent. I don't know how this goes in the US, to be honest, but in Germany, the amount of ignorance that is suddenly portrayed towards Nazi insignia and units that are all openly, like Right Sector, like Azov, that are openly fascist, openly Nazis. There is not a day that goes by where you don't have a newspaper with, the front page or maybe the second page, a picture of some heroic soldier sitting on the stairs of a building with their gun in their hand. And then you see this little, Nazi
like sun, yeah.
Doesn't matter. That's okay. And when that is criticized, that's, they're fighting for their nation. We can't choose. You can't choose who we fight with. I mean, it's not possible.
I've also seen recently Ukrainians painting like the German army sign on their tanks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were. I just saw yesterday. I see this every day. I mean, literally, this is happening all the time. But yesterday, I saw a video of I think right sector guys being interviewed, and there's a tank driving by in the back, like really slow, and it has the swastika on it.
Yeah, my favorite was
Totally
when
normal stuff.
when there was like this long interview with one of the guys of the Azov regiment, and he had literally like the SS skull, like the SS skull, not a SS-like skull, but the SS skull, like on the center of his battle vest. And I was like, is anyone gonna acknowledge that? You know, you're talking to someone who's using like literal SS insignia. Is somebody fucking home? No, apparently not.
But when Palestinians in Germany want to speak about apartheid or human rights violations in Palestine and Israel, oh, that's anti-Semitism. There we have to take care. There the Islamist fascism is spilling over into Germany. Yeah.
But
that's how
it was actually like also from a media perspective, it was rather clever, because again they had the one guy that everybody hates that pushes the Overton window of the discourse like so far to the right where you're like, oh, everybody hates that, so you let shit fly that normally would be totally out of the question. That was the Ukrainian ambassador in Germany, Melnik. He said things out loud where you're like,
he wrote yesterday that we shouldn't let Russians in, Russians that are now fleeing the partial mobilization of Russia. We shouldn't let them in because they didn't fight their government before, so they are part of the enemy, basically.
Yeah. Wow. And there was a German interview by a rather famous German journalist, Thilo Jung, because Andrei Melnik has been seen, like, for example, visiting the grave of Banderas, who was like a collaborator of the Nazis and like an openly fascist militia leader in the Second World War. And he read out like statements by Banderas. By the way, the term Slava Ukraini.
Bandera, not Banderas. Banderas is the actor. He's pretty cool.
Even the slogan Slava Ukraini, which has been even used by American punk bands on their merch and solidarity, is actually popularized by the Banderists, and is not the exact same, but it's kind of like as if Germany was attacked and American punk bands would print Sieg Heil on a pullover. It's not that far detached from that. So, by the way, anyway, and he read out like these anti-Semitic, like immensely, directly anti-Semitic, how they should be extinct, how he's going to collaborate with the Nazis. He read them out in an interview with Melnik. It's like, so what do you say to this? Like, do you say anything about this? And he literally said in the interview, I'm not going to distance myself from that. That was his final answer. It's like, come on. What are you aiming for? I'm not gonna say that's not my things. And
to be fair, he kept being the ambassador of Germany for 2 more weeks, and then he was done.
Yeah, but in the end, he was. You have to also be precise here. He was not like how can I say? He was not made a pariah or something like that.
No.
Promoted.
He was pulled back.
He was promoted
Zelensky
outside
called
of Germany.
Him back.
Yeah,
he called
him back and gave him promotion.
And it could not be the German government who says, "Oh, we want this guy out of our country." That's impossible. Because this guy just openly made, fascist statements, but we can't throw him out because he's Ukrainian. No, it had to be Zelensky calling him back by promoting him to a higher rank in Ukrainian government. That's what happens. So full circle, coming back to Trump being a fascist. If you want to see real fascists, we got some over here, and we got some in Ukraine. So, I think, then we get some dimension of these comparisons, maybe.
Just the amount of collaboration is insane, because there was a Jacobin article before the war that actually the US is financing like right-wing militias all over the world by financing the Azov regiment. And the Azov regiment is I've known that like from anti-fascist activism like for years. The Azov regiment is kind of like what the Hezbollah was in the 70s for left-wing terrorists. It's like the training camp to go to. So we are actually, our money is training white supremacists all over the world. Isn't that rad?
I mean, Azov full of Russian Nazis. And as I guess you guys know, they host the biggest black metal concert in Europe.
Yeah. And that's another thing. That's another thing. Like I have heard, like, for example, Peste Noire, a National Socialist black metal band, they moved to the Ukraine to be closer to their brothers in mind. And what I think interesting
is... very interesting. Like, since 2014, there was like a mass defection of the Russian black metal scene, the National Socialist Russian black metal scene, to Ukraine. And then they switched they still sing the same songs, which is fascinating. Like Molov still sings my native land in Ukraine. talking about Russia, but they'll play it now as if they were talking about Ukraine.
Wow, that's super interesting. I have never heard about that.
And that's the thing. Like in the early 2000s, Russia was a very important center for militant neo-Nazis, and it completely shifted to the Ukraine after the Maidan. Completely.
I wanted to ask you guys, what exactly, you talked about the rise of cost of living in Germany. How is the inflation situation actually working out in terms of the day-to-day life of folks there?
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe on your way out. You can catch the live stream of This Is Revolution every Tuesday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time and Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. This is Revolution.